this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have a sketch for you from the 6x6 paper pad 2 with Allison Davis. And this is a little bit older sketch pad, but it is an amazing one if you want to use your 6x6 pieces of paper. I am actually able to get 14 photos on this layout, and all of the photos started out in a 4x6 size. So I did go ahead and trim them down quite a bit, and I started out by following the sketch pretty closely, but then realized that I wasn't going to be able to get a lot of photos on there if I followed the sketch. I did have to end up changing the sketch quite a bit. So you'll notice there that I have my photos, and it actually calls for 3x3 photos there and then a 6x6 piece of paper right next to it. But because I wanted my photos a little bit larger, what I decided to do was cut down the 6x6 paper, and all I did was measure what my photos were and then make the rest of the white space that was left as part of the paper. And I love that 6x6 piece of paper because it already has decorations on it. It has like some recipe cards and a fork and a knife, and then it says homemade at the bottom. And so these photos are of my nephews making muffins with my mom, and it was definitely not a homemade from scratch type thing. It was from a package. But at this age, and for boys, this is about as much as you're going to get when it comes to baking. And so it's a perfect amount of them, just measuring a couple of things. I think it's really just eggs and milk, and then using that muffin package and then pouring it into the muffin tin and then making the muffins. So I think that, it's a perfect way to get kids started into being involved in the kitchen and baking and things like that. And it's just enough to keep their attention without them getting bored, especially, like I said, when they're that young of an age. So anyways, back to the layout itself. So what I did was I have the 6 photos on the left-hand side of the layout, and it actually only called for the 4 photos. I went ahead and decided to expand my layout and add the 2 additional photos at the top. And all I did was just add an additional piece of paper over there to the left-hand side as well. For the right-hand side of the layout, I have those 3 pieces of paper there, the full 6x6 pieces of paper, and then those 2 pieces that are on the left-hand side that are diagonal. It actually calls for a 6x6 pieces of paper there, so it just really calls for the 2. But I had recently done a layout where I had cut some of the papers in the diagonal, and so I had these scraps, and I was like, I might as well use them up and just put both of them there. And by the time I get my photos on it, you really can't tell, that it's a diagonal or that there's extra paper there. And it actually looks like a really cool background. And then I just paper pieced the top and bottom pieces there with the stripes and that gingham. Now, I was looking for something to map my photos on the right-hand side because I did feel like they were getting lost. And I decided just to pull out a brown piece of cardstock to mat all of my photos in. I could have used different pattern paper, but I felt like I had so much going on, especially with all of the photos that are on this layout, that I really needed something that was grounding and bringing everything together. And I really think that the brown cardstock helped with that. Some of these photos I did overlap quite a bit, like the before and after photos of the muffins. I felt like being able to overlap them, you were able to get the gist of what that is. Obviously it's, the same photo just before and after being in the oven. And so I don't feel like I needed the whole photo, and I didn't feel like I needed to cut it down because I like the fact that it kind of sticks up out of the top of that photo of them being done as well. I did pull in the ephemera piece for this 6x6 paper pad as well, and I tried to use as much as I could. A lot of it had to do with like baking cakes and things like that, so that really didn't work for my layout, but I was able to pull out quite a few different pieces and add to it. The title looks like it has really gotten lost in that polka dot, but in real life it is bright and shiny and just a perfect accent to all of this busyness. And so my title is just making muffins, and then I did take some of the like star pieces from that alphabet and add it to my other clusters so that I can bring that sparkle all around the layout. Here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I will link this book below for you guys if you want to check it out. It is a really amazing book that Scrapbook Generations offers, and I highly recommend it, along with any of their other 6x6 paper pad sketches as well. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.